Ethan Cole had always dismissed the idea of curses, spirits, or bad luck. His belief was rooted in solitude and a profound silence that surrounded him. Sometimes he thought silence is the most ominous feeling of all, yet he never imagined that silence could harbor something darker waiting in the shadow. This story begins with a mysterious object, an old mirror purchased from a roadside stall. The mirror was crafted from ancient cracked wood, its edges frayed and worn by time. The vendor had shown no interest in haggling, offering it at a price too tempting. He didn't smile or bargain, he simply whispered, "Once you take it, you can't give." Ethan laughed dismissively, handed over the money, and carried the mirror into his home. That night around midnight, everything changed as his laughter faded into silence. Ethan happened to pass by the mirror that dark hour and suddenly froze in place. His reflection was no longer upright. It was leaning forward, almost as if studying him. Curious, he stepped closer, but the reflection remained still, eerily motionless. Then he noticed a single chilling detail. The reflection's fingertips bore a thin trickle. Startled, Ethan looked down at his own hands, which were clean and but the reflection within the mirror had a wicked smile, and suddenly the lights flickered and went. Night after night, the mirror revealed images Ethan could barely comprehend, visions of violence. He saw a woman screaming in a parking lot, her face twisted with. He saw a man lying motionless in a pool of blood, a horrifying scene frozen in time. And then, disturbingly, Ethan himself standing over both victims, rooted to the spot. Fear gripped him, and he hastily draped a blanket over the cursed. Yet at 3 a.m., the blanket inexplicably slid off by itself, exposing the sinister glass. Within the mirror's dark surface, Ethan heard his own whisper echoing with menacing calm. "You're not innocent, you just forgot." That was the night Ethan's sleep became a distant memory. Terror haunted his nights. The mirror didn't just show him violence, it revealed truths he wished to unsee. He saw himself standing up to bullies, speaking confidently, becoming someone worth noting. He began trusting the reflection more than his own reflection. It told him secrets, who hated him, who talked behind his back, who wished him. The mirror became his confidant, his judge, and his tormentor all at once. It subtly manipulated his thoughts, whispering doubts and fears into his mind. Ethan didn't realize he was slowly losing control, that he was merely a puppet. One cold night, the mirror showed Ethan a horrifying scene, standing over his neighbor, a woman who always greeted him kindly. In the reflection, she was dead, her neck bruised and her eyes wide open in shock. Ethan's scream shattered the silence as he stared at the glass. "I didn't do that. I would never," he cried helplessly. The mirror tilted its head, almost amused, and responded slowly. "You already did. You just haven't woken up." Suddenly, a knock at the door startled him, pounding with urgency and fear. Police officers arrived, their faces grim with a disturbing certainty. They told him his quiet neighbor had been found strangled, her face frozen in terror. His fingerprints were all over her throat, stark evidence against. Ethan collapsed, tears streaming down his face, denial pouring out of him. "I didn't do it, I didn't." Yet despite his protests, doubt gnawed at his mind. Was he truly innocent? He was dragged away, kicking and screaming in desperation as the world blurred around him. In the dim living room, the mirror sat in shadow, silent and unmoving. As the door slammed shut behind him, a slow, deliberate movement caught the corner of it. The reflection inside the mirror lifted its hand, waving almost mockingly, because the mirror wasn't merely predicting the future nor showing the past. It was controlling Ethan's dreams, guiding his hands toward unseen darkness. Ethan had been blind to the underlying truth. He hadn't seen the mirror's true. But the mirror had always seen everything, watching, waiting, and manipulating. He had never truly understood the extent of its power. And now, in the aftermath of chaos, the mirror itself was still and silent. Yet inside its dark depths, a single hand gently waved again, mockingly, eternally, because it didn't predict. It didn't reveal. It merely controlled. Ethan's pieces of innocence had shattered, but the mirror remained unyielding. It always knew the truth even when he refused to see it. And in that dark, endless reflection, the mirror's secret endured, silent, haunting truth.